makes it a very difficult task to reach where you are today. Let me therefore congratulate you on your success in being duly elected as members of Parliament by your people through a free, fair, and transparent election. Over the next 5 years, you will be exercising legitimate and constitutional mandate of making laws that will shape the destiny and serve the interest of our people and future generation. All eyes are now on you. The stakes are high and the expectations are exponential. You will be working to ensure that government works for the people by giving a voice to the voiceless through lawmaking, transparency, accountability, and equitable distribution of resources. While acknowledging that your job is challenging, I must emphasize that it is also an interesting one, because you will not be on your own over the next 5 years. My professional staff and I will be committed to supporting you. We are aware that you come from various qualifications and experiences, not necessarily enough to go through the practices and procedures, especially for those of you who are first-timers. We have developed an orientation and induction program that is geared towards providing you with a strong and solid foundation to enhance your capacities to perform as effective members of Parliament. Honorable members, over the past 5 years, we have built a strong, reform-minded, and successful administration. Through the excellent support and strategic vision and directive of the previous Parliamentary Service Commission, our hope is to build on that trajectory and to run a corporate parliament anchored on quality service delivery, productivity, transparency, and mutual respect. Let me again, with deepest honor and gratitude, congratulate each and every one of you for your outstanding and historic achievement of winning the mandates of your people. I wish you success over the next 5 years of your political career. God bless Sierra Leone. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, having gone through this short welcome statement, I may now want to proceed to the thorough business of the day.
Item 4, election of the Speaker of Parliament, Section 79 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Act number 6 of 1991, as amended by the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Amendment Act 2013, and Standing Order 8.
Honorable members, may I now instruct the Sergeant at Arms to close all doors for elections.
Michael?
Meaning it is expected that all members of Parliament are seated.
This was the point why I was saying that the others will come out and be seated on the seat.
And honorable members, ladies and gentlemen occupying seats belonging to honorable members, can you please rise and vacate those seats? If you're not a member of parliament, then you sit on a blue seat. Please come on. Na election now, Depa.
To call the other members who are there and come by, so it will be easy for council movement. They are the benches at the back, honorable benches at the right back. Let them come by.
Honorable Benjamin Ture, can you please come to the front? Honorable members who are far at the back, please make sure you come to the front so that it will be easy to cast the ballot. Okay, if honorable members are now seated, then I will quickly go through a summary of the procedure. Please listen attentively. The Speaker of Parliament is elected pursuant to Section 79 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Act number 6 of 1991, as amended in 2013. Constitution of Sierra Leone, Amendment Act 2013. Let me just quickly go through the qualifications for Speaker of Parliament. The Speaker of Parliament shall be elected by members of Parliament from amongst persons who are A, members of Parliament and who had served as such for not less than 5 years. B, qualified to be members of Parliament and who had served as such for not less than 10 years and who are not less than 40 years. Now, to summarize the procedure. Standing Orders 8 deals with the election of the Speaker. And for us to elect a Speaker, just in summary, we should have the votes of 2/3 of members of Parliament. And taking into account the current configuration of Parliament, a Parliament of 149 members. 2/3 of 149 is 99.5. So rounding that up, although we do not have half human beings. And because we do not have half human beings, we cannot round up a human being. So we drop the 0.5. So 2/3 should be 99 members. So during the elections of the Speaker, we'll go through the first ballot. And if we go through the first ballot and no candidate gets 99 votes, meaning we have not elected a speaker. And if a situation like this arises, we'll go through a second ballot. And during the second ballot again, is 2/3 majority of members of parliament. If again a candidate fails to pull 99 votes, then a speaker is not elected. We'll go to a third round of voting. And during the third round of voting, again, if a candidate fails to pull 99 votes, then no speaker is elected. And if this happens, we'll go through a fourth round of votes. And during the fourth round of votes, it's now simple majority. Meaning, at a count of simple majority of all members of parliament, not those present and voting. So in other words, we should have acquired at least 75 votes to say we have elected a speaker. That is at fourth ballot. So the process is slightly tedious. That is why I want to entreat all members of parliament to be very swift. To be very swift in their voting. Once the ballot papers are distributed and your name is called, you move forward quickly to the ballot box and drop your ballot. And the procedure is as follows. Once nominations are opened for the position of speaker, we allow honorable members that so wish to nominate any individual who is qualified as per section 79 by proposing that that person takes the seat as speaker of the 6th parliament, and then we'll call for a seconder. Once it is seconded, I as clerk of parliament will put the question whether this house would like Honorable this or Mr. this to take the seat as Speaker of Parliament, and then voting will commence. Okay? And if you look at the ballot papers, on the ballot papers, it is printed Sierra Leone Parliament election of Speaker. And there are two boxes, ballot box, two boxes to be filled. If the person that has been proposed, if you want that person to take the seat as Speaker of Parliament, just tick I. You just tick the I box. If you do not want that person to take the seat as Speaker, you tick the second box, which is nay. In parliamentary terminology, I means yes, and nay means no. I is spelled as A-Y-E. You get the point? I, when speaker says all those in favor say I, the I is I-Y-E. So if you are in favor of the person nominated, it's A-Y-E. I. So if you want the person to take the seat as Speaker, it's A-Y-E. I. If you do not want that person to take the seat, it's nay, N-A-Y. Nay, and agree. Okay? But please don't vote in both boxes. We'll void it. Last year we had void, the last parliament we had void votes. Please, this parliament will not want void votes. So now, we'll go through the roll call quickly and the distribution of ballot papers. But before that, I, as the legislative returning officer, please listen. You have a question? Quickly, yes.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Clark. Mr. Clark, a few days ago, you were on 98.1, and I heard you saying that you are only member of parliament when you have taken an oath. So I would go to account those who did not take oath today.
Very good question. For the purpose of the election of the speaker.
Clark, allow us, please. Thank you very much for elucidating on the points and throwing light on some of the issues that has to do with the election of Mr. Speaker. Can we have the floor, please? Mr. Clark, you know you are in charge as a presiding officer or the legislative returning officer at the moment today. A power which anybody can use in his own power to make sure that he's in charge of Parliament. But thank you very much. I want to say thank you in line with the provision of the Constitution, Section 84 of the Constitution, that's calling us to here. At this time moment, after the general elections, we have 28 days to come to Parliament. There's a correct leadership of Parliament administratively that you have shown. But I'm cue from my colleague. He said, it's had a question because of your utterances on the media. So I was expecting you to elucidate on Section 83 of the Constitution, which you have not done. Let me go. Section 83 is specific and very, I don't want to say skewed, specific and straight to the point, which I was expecting you to write on. You have educated us today enough, but we want to have your explanation on Section 83 of the 1991 Constitution, Act number 6. That you cannot take oaths, but you can still elect the Speaker of the House, whether you take oath or not. So my colleague has just asked you a simple question, that whether you take oath or you don't take oath, can you vote for the Speaker of Parliament? If so, he was asking that the members present now, or those who have taken oath, can it be calculated for us to have the two-term? Section 79, subsection 2 of the 1991 Constitution, Act number 6. It's clearly stipulated that you have to get 2/3 successive voting, 1, 2, and 3. The fourth one should be simple majority. We are novice. I am speaking on behalf of all of us. We are novice. So we want you to give your time in explaining Section 79, subsection 2, and Section 83 in line with what my colleague has said. Thank you very much for giving me the floor.
Thank you very much, the Honorable
Mr. Clark.
Matthew Sir Newman.
Mr. Clark. Thank you very much, Mr. Clark. Honorable members. Mr. Clark, you are here to conduct elections and not to interpret constitutions. Can you go ahead?
Thank you very much.
Mr. Clark.
Honorable members, I'm in charge.
Mr. Clark.
Please resume your seat. Please resume your seat. Honorable member, please resume your seat. Honorable member. Honorable member. Honorable member. Honorable member, please. I'm in charge. I will get you to talk.
Thank you. Mr. Clark, I stand on SO 34.
Honorable member, please.
SO 34, sir, allow me. Mr. Clark, this is the House of Procedure. I made reference to your utterances over 1981. And that is what he said. That is what he said. The public is fully looking at us. We are under the full view of cameras. We ask you to educate us. We did not ask you to interpret the Constitution. We ask for education.
Thank you very much.
I rest my case, sir.
The Honorable, thank you very much. Honorable members, these are very legitimate concerns. And it's true that I will be doing disservice if I fail to give you some explanation. Because as honorable members, if you are requesting explanation, it will apply to the same if the citizens of Sierra Leone are requesting explanation. I will not bore you with details of constitutional or ESO provisions, but what I will do is this, and it's simple. A 83 of the Constitution is clear. For you to become a full-blown member of Parliament, there are 3 stages. 1, you put yourself up for elections and you are elected. 2, the National Returning Officer declares you duly elected. And then 3, you subscribe the oath of office. That is what makes you a honorable gentleman or a honorable lady. However, by the standing orders, it is clear that there is only one parliamentary process and procedure that a member-elect can take part in, even where he or she has not subscribed the oath, and that is the elections of the Speaker. Therefore, assuming from that particular provision of the standing orders, which states that you can take part in the elections of the Speaker even before subscribing the oath, the 2/3 of Parliament is calculated based on those members of Parliament that we are declared duly elected by the National Returning Officer. So to allay your fears, honorable gentlemen, this election is going to be conducted based on 149 MPs duly declared elected. That is my ruling. Pursuant to this, therefore, I may now want to, as the parliamentary returning officer, to open nominations for the position of Speaker of Parliament of the 6th Parliament of the Second Republic. Nominations are hereby open.
Mr. Clark, sorry, thank you.
Nominations, please.
Just one more before I nominate. Please.
Okay, I will give you.
I said I started with giving you praise for keeping within the ambit of the constitutional provision of section 84. And again, I want to pose another question to you. You have the standing orders. Yes. I want you to go to SO8 subsection 3.
Yeah, SO8.
And it's a bit confusing, but based on what you tell us today, we have over 50% of new members of Parliament. Yeah, and this election of Speaker is only once in every parliamentary year.
Yeah.
The 5th Parliament and the 6th Parliament. You do it only once. Yeah. So, SO8 subsection 3, which I brought to you in camera.
Yeah.
So, just before I nominate who we are going to elect for Speaker, I would like you to read that provision and just do a little bit of edification on it. So, and I will go ahead with the next step of what you have asked for. Thank you.
I thank you very much, Honorable Matthew Sanyuma. SO8 deals with the election of the Speaker. And let me read SO8-3. And please listen carefully. SO8-3. If only one person is so proposed, that is, in nominating, if only one person is so proposed, the clerk shall propose the question that that person do take the chair of the House as Speaker. Let me read it again. If only one person is proposed, the clerk shall propose the question that that person do take the chair of the House as Speaker. If more than one person is so proposed, the clerk shall propose the question that the first person proposed do take the chair of the House as Speaker. Interpretation. If you are nominating for the office of the Speaker and only one person is nominated and no other person is nominated but that one person, the Clerk of Parliament will propose the question that Mr. A do take the chair of the House as Speaker. SO 83 only refers to the proposition of the question. It does not refer to letting the person go unopposed, because the Constitution in 79 and the standing orders in SO 8 speak to that clearly. Whether we have one candidate or not, that candidate should be voted upon. And that candidate in the first, second, or third ballot must pull 2/3 of the entire membership of Parliament, or else we will go to a fourth election, which is simple majority. And it goes further to state that if there are 2 or 3 candidates nominated, the clerk will go one by one and propose the question that the first candidate so nominated do take the chair of the House as Speaker, and then the voting will commence on that candidate. If that candidate fails to pull 2/3, that candidate is packed in the corner, and then the second candidate who was nominated will now be proposed to take the chair, and voting will commence on that candidate. If that candidate also fails to pull the 2/3, he or she will be packed in the corner, and then the third candidate nominated, the clerk will propose the question that he or she takes the chair of the House as Speaker, and voting will commence. After the voting for the 2/3, if none of the 3 candidates pull 2/3, the 2 highest candidates during the 2/3 round will now go into a simple majority round, where by simple majority, one of those 2 will be elected Speaker of this House. Have I made myself clear? Is that now understood?
Yes, you have, Mr. Clark. I still have a question. You say we are dealing with a very gullible opposition. Can you please tell the audience in this way what will constitute the 2/3 majority based on the 100 and...
I've said it. I said it before. 2/3 is 99 members of Parliament. Okay. Can we now proceed?
Mr. Clark, thank you very much for elucidating on the point of order I raised. I realize that even in the Constitution, 7171 subsection 15, if the Constitution is supreme,
yeah.
I have no question what you have interpreted to us. As I said it earlier, you are in charge. Today we are the subjects and you are the master.
Very much.
We carefully listen to you. We have carefully listened to you. You have cited provisions in the standing orders in the Constitution. And addendum to that, I have talked about the 171 subsection 15 of the Constitution. Yes. So we now fully understand that what you have put forward to us is clear to us in our minds, because there have been series of debates in the corner. We don't want those who are interpreting to us. We have new MPs coming from all over the country to have interpretation in the corners. Yeah. We need a clear explanation from you. You cannot interpret for me, So what you have said, your ruling is final, I believe, because you're in charge. So we concede to your ruling, and we now go ahead with the process. So I stand, Honorable Matthew Saluma, from Kenema District, representing the district under the PR system. They just concluded elections. But I represent in my own locality 2 sections. Yeah, that's the Goka Kajama and the Bulama. I don't mean to demean the other areas, the other sections we have in Kenema. They are fully thought of and recognized by me. So I stand On behalf of the people of Sierra Leone and the political party I represent, which you cannot take that one off the table, to nominate a seasoned politician, a seasoned diplomat, who has served in this nation, who has served in the 5th Parliament in the Second Republic of Sierra Leone, under which, Mr. Clark, I can say it with no reservations. Today we have over 30% of women in the chamber. Mr. Clark, the 5th Parliament of the Second Republic characterized by a progressive parliament and transformative decisions we are taking. And we pass legislations, whom the government of Sierra Leone, whom the MPs in Parliament, whom other internal factors that we have, or external factors. I stand today, I will come again under the same provision of standing order to talk about my candidate I'm going to nominate. And I hope when I'm going to nominate my candidate, there will be no contention for my candidate.
No, nominate.
Thank you. Allow me. This is about unity, freedom and justice. Democracy has prevailed since 1996. We have seen change from opposition to ruling, from ruling to opposition. Mr. Clark of Sierra Leone Parliament, I do hear somebody who brought the ECOWAS to a forefront of ECOMOC, a transformative ECOWAS that today is the building block and the pillar of democracy in the sub-region. Who served as the secretary in that particular administration. I just have to mark it because I don't want opposition. I don't want nomination. Mr. Clark, I stand on section 79, point of order. Now we allow our colleagues to go back.
We are on election now. Nominate.
I want decorum, Mr. Clark.
Decorum, please.
Let me give me decorum. Let me present. It cannot be the Almighty, but the Almighty of the progressive Sierra Leone, a progressive parliament, the man in whom we trust, the man who has served, a Cambridge, a scholar, a doctor, a lawyer. On behalf of my colleagues, with all humility and strength given to me, my colleagues are the Paramount Chiefs, which I trust. I'm a chief. I am not intending to campaign you, but I'm trying to convince you how do you vote for my candidate. My colleagues on the other side of the house, I hereby stand on section 7. Thank you. Mr. Clark, you have read to us section 79 of the Constitution that has to do with election, Mr. Speaker, in tandem with SO8, with all the provisions under SO8. I hereby nominate Dr. Abbas
Thank you very much. Do we have any seconder to that nomination?
I, Honorable Bashiru Siliki, who is serving his 4th term in this parliament, and representing the people of Paramount Chiefs in the whole district, the chiefdom of the chairman of the greatest LPP, I holistically accept the proposition presented by the Honorable Sir Martin Newman and second the nomination for Dr. Abbas Cherino.
Honorable members, any other nomination?
We have a point of order.
Honorable members, any other nomination? For the very last time, honorable members, any other nomination? Honorable members, the question is that Honorable Dr. Abbas Chenro Bundu do take the chair of the House as Speaker of the 6th Parliament. I start with the roll call. Once your name is called, please stand quickly and a ballot paper is issued to you. Kailon District, Honorable Sati Banya. Honorable Indolo Moiwo Gebao. Just stand in your seat, take your ballot paper and sit and vote. Honorable Yata Banaret Songa. Honorable Musa Nahar. Honorable Muhammad Kane.
We are back. You are watching live commentaries coming to you from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Members of Parliament are now being called to come and cast their votes for the Speaker of the House of Parliament. Honorable Dr. Abbas Chenro Bundu is the candidate for the position of Speaker of the House of Parliament. Names are being called now. Each member of Parliament, they've called members of Parliament from Kailahun. Now the MPs from Kenema have been called to come one by one, pick up their ballot paper and cast their votes for the Speaker of Parliament. Honorable Abbas Bundu is the only candidate contesting for this position. Mind you, he is the last Parliament. He was also the Speaker of Parliament. He served that position for 5 years, and he's also coming in as an incumbent Speaker of Parliament. Members of Parliament are coming one by one to cast their ballots, to cast their votes for the position of Speaker of the House of Parliament. Honorable Dr. Abbas Bundu had one time been a member of Parliament when Sierra Leone was a one-party state. He served as a member of Parliament and also a Minister of Agriculture. A man who has been around Sierra Leone politics for a very long time. He is a towering figure, an academic, and a politician. He one time worked for the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, as Executive Secretary. And his name is a household one in the Sierra Leone politics. Members are coming forward. Now members of Falaba, honorable members from Falaba are coming forward. And now members of Parliament for Koinadugu are also coming forward now to cast their votes for the position of Speaker of the House of Parliament. Mind you, Honorable Chenro Abbas Bundu is the sole candidate for this speakership election. Some Kolili members have been called to come forward. Once the Speaker is voted for and the ballots are counted and he is declared the winner, he assumes the office of the Speaker of the House of Parliament. Well, he is an incumbent Speaker of Parliament because he served as Speaker in the just concluded Parliament.
Mabinti Ali Stelo Bandura, Mohammed Sheridan Kamara.
Members of Parliament keep coming in. They are now calling on members of names of members of the opposition have been called, but unfortunately they are not around. But for Mohammed Bangura, Honorable, he is the sole candidate from the opposition party that is in the well of Parliament. So Mohammed Bangura, Honorable, is being called. He is coming forward now. He has cast his votes. Honorable Mohammed Bangura has cast his votes. He has cast his vote. Though his party boycotts today's swearing-in ceremony, Honorable Mohammed Bangura attended and he has voted.
Honorable Ismail Sankoila, Honorable Sheikh Santigi Ibrahim Kadu.
Those members of Parliament who are absent will not have this opportunity to vote. The voting is being done by the members of Parliament who are here present. They are the ones who are here and they are going to cast their vote. No, the Speaker is the head of Parliament. He presides over the sittings of Parliament. He provides the leadership. He steers the ship of Parliament and provides the leadership that the House needs. So it's a very powerful and senior position in the government's hierarchy. The executive arm is led by the President, while the judiciary is led by the Chief Justice. And the legislative arm, which is Parliament, is led by the Speaker of Parliament. Honorable Abbas Bondo is an experienced lawmaker. He is respected as one of the brightest legal minds in Sierra Leone. So he is a towering figure when it comes to politics, governance, and academia. I can see the Deputy Speaker of the former Parliament, Honorable Senga Paul Thomas. He has also cast his vote.
Honorable Captain Sylvester Boima, Honorable Umupai, Honorable Mustafa Musa Selu, Honorable.
The Clerk of Parliament is patiently calling each member of Parliament are not in Parliament today, as the All People's Congress says it will boycott today's
Honorable Beatrice Yamide Langley, Honorable Amara Momokadu, Honorable Ibrahim Kaba.
Today marks the starting of this Parliament. The life of this Parliament starts today because this is the first thing that should be done. Western area urban members of Parliament have been called, but only members of the SLPP are here to cast their votes for the Speaker of the House of Parliament. I can see Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte. Honorable Tawa Conte is a second-term member of Parliament. Honorable Sidi Ayatunis has just cast his vote. You can also see Honorable Dixon Rogers is now coming forward. He has cast his votes.
Abdul Suleiman Mari Conte. Paramount Chiefs members of Parliament. Honorable PC Foresi Serigonda Matuli. Honorable PC Foresi Akra Pala. Honorable Paul Gabasakwi IV. Honorable PC Kande Baba Keha Victor. Honorable P.C. Maya, Ito, Toto, Sheka, Ting, Fukola. Honorable P.C. Ali Balan Sama Maya, Ito.
Members of Parliament, MPs, PC MPs, Paramount Chief members of Parliament are now being called. They are now being called to come forward. They have started casting their votes.
The second, Honorable PC by Sheba Bera the third, Honorable PC Desmond Mahiel Kamfla, Honorable PC Dio Prince Lansama, Honorable PC Ada Fatmata Bintu Kuruma Nima Kajo, Honorable PC Kadi Rama Victor Sidi Liton.
You are watching live commentaries coming to you from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. The Paramount Chief members of Parliament are now coming forward to cast their votes. They are also entitled to one vote because they are members of this House. They are coming to cast their votes. You can see them now. These are the Paramount Chiefs who are members of Parliament, each one of them representing a district. Each one of them represents one district in Sierra Leone, and their votes are sometimes very crucial when it comes to certain issues. They have the power to swing certain votes. So you can see them now, the Paramount Chief MPs. They were
members, the voting has ended.
The Paramount Chief MPs are still coming forward.
The counting and the announcing of results. I will now ask my staff to open your party agents. Please vote quickly. All the ayes on one part and all the nays on the other part. The box, everything. See number. All ayes one way.
Now the votes are being sorted out, as you can. The votes are being sorted out. After the sorting of the votes, they are going to be counted. And the sorting is going on now. The votes are being. They are sorting out the votes. The votes are being sorted out, but let me just bring in my colleague, Ibrahim Samura. We are here right in the Well of Parliament. Ibrahim, the votes are being sorted out, and once they are sorted, they are going to be counted, and a winner is going to be declared. And once a winner is declared, the person emerges as the Speaker of the House, and then his work starts, and the work of this Parliament commences from that stage.
Exactly, as Migo, as you mentioned, voting has just ended, and I think we're going to see continuous voting. It just reminds me of the America situation where they are electing their House Speaker. You know, they have to do the election several times just to get the House Speaker. So it's similar to our every stage in here.
No, because we've only had one candidate. the incumbent Speaker of the House of Parliament, Honorable Abbas Bono. Nobody has contested against him.
The situation I'm about to bring here, as earlier explained by the Clerk of Parliament, that they have to get the 2/3 majority. And by the look of things, and according to the explanation of the Clerk of Parliament, when we mean 2/3 of majority, it constitutes the entire membership, which I'm talking about the 149 members of Parliament, elected, including the Paramount Chiefs members of Parliament. So it's going to be a process. Maybe by this first voting, it will be difficult to have the 2/3 majority because of the conspicuous absence of the main opposition, APC. So it's going to be a long process for them. It's going to be first, second, and
so
maybe
Ibrahim Samura, if this first voting, are they not going to have the 2/3 majority?
Well, from the explanation of the Clerk of Parliament, 2/3 majority here, in 95. But he said it was so very logical to say we don't have any half human being. So the voting, the 2/3 majority here is going to be 90 members of Parliament. So we are waiting to see and take into consideration also maybe we might have void votes. We don't know. Maybe because it's for or against the nay or the aye. So we're going to see what's going to happen. But from the look of things, for this first voting, I'm not sure if we're going to have the 2/3 majority.
Ibrahim Samura, if Abbas Bono has it and he is going to be the Speaker of this House again, he sat on this Speaker's seat for 5 years. He presided over the just concluded Parliament, and Abbas Bono has been around in Sierra Leone's politics. In the 70s or so, he was a minister. He was also a member of Parliament. He worked for ECOWAS. So he's a towering figure when it comes to politics in Sierra Leone. So coming in for the second time as a Speaker of Parliament, he is going to have a smooth sail.
Maybe the ruling SLPP decided to.
Okay, Ibrahim, let us just.
And hereby post the results of the first ballot.
Excuse me, Lady, please.
There were no void votes. 96 persons voted. The ayes were 93. The nays 1, and 2 persons abstained. Therefore, by Section 79 of the Constitution, in tandem with Section 8 of the Standing Orders, the candidate,
How many police stations?
all the 96 polling stations, the candidate who was proposed to take the seat as Speaker of the 6th Parliament has failed to pull the 2/3 and will now resume the second ballot.
Well, the Clerk of Parliament, Honorable Parantarawali, has just announced the results. Unfortunately, they did not get the 2/3 majority. As you can see now, the Clerk of Parliament is reading the results, and no one got the candidate did not get the 2/3 majority. So another rerun is going to happen. Ibrahim Samura, it's getting interesting here. As you predicted, you've shown me that you are a guru in this Parliament. You know how Parliament operates, how Parliament works. I mean, they've not had the 2/3 majority, so they are going to vote for another rerun is going to be held.
And this is the beauty of democracy. As I earlier said, I did predict that it would be difficult for them from what I'm seeing, and I think my prediction again will be maybe at the end of this election we're going to elect the Speaker of this 6th Parliament by a simple majority, because it has already proven itself from the first years for them to understand what is going on in Parliament, and this is the second voting for the election of the House Speaker.
Yeah, indeed, as Ibrahim Samura said, the candidate has not pulled the 2/3 majority. So a second voting is going on now. If even after the second voting, if the candidate did not get the 2/3 majority, they are going to vote for the third time. And after the third time voting, if he does not get the 2/3 majority, they are going to vote for the fourth time. But that one simple majority is going to give victory to the candidates. Ibrahim, what if there were two candidates in this race? How do you think the race would have gone?
It's going to be, in fact, it's going to be more difficult because when looking at the structure of Parliament, the 149, it's going to be very difficult to have the 2/3 majority. Even though this voting will going to show how transparency and also democracy is at play, but it's going to be very difficult even for the election of the speaker. Only one person has been nominated for the position, but still it's a very challenging just to get the speaker. If we had two two contending members of parliament for that position, it's going to be more difficult. Just one Asmiru is very difficult. So I think it's going to be very difficult. Maybe though the SLBC don't have the right to announce the game, but we can predict. But Asmiru, from our statistics so far, I think this time, from what we are seeing, the election of the speaker is going to be on a simple majority, because from our statistics, it's going to be very difficult to have the 2/3 majority because of the absence of the main opposition.
Thank you very much. Well, he is Ibrahim Samura, my colleague, who was a reporter in the last parliament. He covered the last parliament, and so he has a wealth of knowledge on parliamentary proceedings and how parliament operates. Let me just remind you that the first voting has been done, and the candidate did not pull the 2/3 majority that the constitution stipulates that he must pull for him to be declared as speaker. So a second voting is now going on, and after the second voting, if the 2/3 majority is also not achieved, then it's going to be another third voting, and once that is done, after that, if the third time no one emerges, then it's going to be another voting where the candidate is going to be voted for on simple majority. The MPs are coming forward to cast their votes. This is how democracy operates. This is how parliamentary leadership, especially the speaker, is normally elected. And once he is elected today, his work starts. The life of this parliament begins once the Speaker of the House is elected. Let me remind you that the candidate for this speakership race is Honorable Dr. Abbas Bundu, the just outgone Speaker of the last parliament. He presided over the last parliament and served as Speaker of the House for 5 years. And now he has put himself forward again to serve as the Speaker of this 6th Parliament. But the voting is going on now for the speakership. Members of Parliament are coming one by one, and 93 voted for A, the nays 1, void 0. So the second voting, the second ballot is now going on, and the MPs are coming forward. Mind you, it's also secret ballot because the Constitution stipulates that the MPs must vote secret ballots.
Alphabet Mansari. Pujan District, Honorable Sidi Mohammed Tunis, Honorable Dixon Mama Rogers, Honorable Awa Kalon, Honorable Alex Matia Rogers, Honorable Abu Kemokai, Honorable Mariama Munia Zombo, Honorable Shaka Musa Sama. Western Area Rural District, Honorable Abubakar Fofana, Honorable Hajamiata Amara, Honorable John Sati Kagbo, Honorable Kemoko Conte, Zainabu Timbo, Honorable Usman Wuri Jalo. Where Wuri Jalo? Honorable Beatrice Yamide Langley, Honorable Amara Momo Kagbo, Honorable Ibrahim Kaba, Honorable Ahmed Joseph Kanu. Western Urban District, Usman Abdel Timbo, Honorable Alpha Amaduba, Honorable Rugiatu Rosi Kanu, Honorable Umfaso Ribeshe Koroma, Mahmoud Kamara, Adama Conte, Alfred Ayodele Thompson, Abdullah Kamara, Mariam Abangura, Honorable Ibrahim Tawa Conte, Honorable Mohammed Sharif Rahman Koka, Honorable Princess Khadija Raminabi, Honorable Benjamin Toure, Honorable Idris Said Kamara, Honorable Fatmata Sarah Sunkena, Honorable Abdul Sulaiman Mari Conte, Paramount Chief Members of Parliament, PC, Honorable PC Fore Cyril Gondor II, Honorable PC Fode Stephen Bakra Foba, Honorable PC Paul Gabasakwi IV, Honorable PC Kande Baba Keha III, Honorable PC Mara Tongos, Honorable PC Ali Bala Samamara III, Honorable PC Alhaji Masakama Kanamanka III, Honorable PC Brahma Tad Gubuambak IV, Honorable PC Kandebra Kawale II, Honorable PC by Shebora Sheba Bere the third, Honorable PC Desmond Arubai, Honorable PC Lansana Prince Bio, Honorable PC Aja Fatmata Bint Koroma. Paddy, I don't tire. I don't tire. And then when I name the way book, so I don't tire. Honorable PC Victor Braga Kebi, CD, the third. Yeah, the third round. How can the fourth round? It's hard to go past the before you go about now. No, they can't have me, they can't be down, and I'll be Sawa, now they tell you, better. Yeah, bring Sawa. This brings us to the end of the second ballot. I now ask the officers of the House to do the sorting.
Paramount Chief Members of Parliament are now casting their votes. As you can see, the Paramount Chief MPs are coming forward. Normally they are the last to cast their votes. Once their votes is cast, once their votes are cast, sorting is done and then counting. After counting, the results are going to be announced. This is the second voting. The first voting ended, and those for the A had 93, the nays 1, void 0. So now that's Paramount Chief Kebi. Paramount Chief Kebi has been in Parliament for, I think, his fourth time now. as Member of Parliament, Paramount Chief, representing Pujehun District. Now the votes are about to be sorted. The box has been opened, and as you can see, these are the ballot papers. The sorting has begun. The sorting has begun, and they are still doing the sorting. Okay, Ibrahim Samora, the second voting has ended, and they are now doing the sorting to know exactly what the figures are going to be again. We are all in tenterhooks, waiting to know what the results are going to, what the figures are going to be.
It's really very interesting here today at the Chambers of Parliament as we are seeing the commencement of the 6th Parliament, which
I think the result is about to be announced.
By the powers vested in me as Legislative Returning Officer, I hereby read out the results of the second ballot for the Speakership of the 6th Parliament. 96 members of Parliament voted, and the result is as follows. 96 persons voted ayes, no nay, no void, no abstinence. However, by pursuant to Section 79, in tandem with Section SO8 of the Standing Orders, the candidate who had been proposed to take this chair as Speaker of the 6th Parliament has not met the threshold. We will now proceed into the 3rd round of ballots.
Ibrahim, it's getting more interesting here. The Clerk of Parliament has read the results, and the candidates did not pool the votes that he needs to be declared. So now they are going to vote for the 3rd time, and I think the 3rd time, Ibrahim Samora, the 3rd voting, just as you predicted.
Yes, Asmigo, but the unique for the second ballot, in the first ballot, we had two members of Parliament that we are abstained from the voting, but this time all the 96 members of Parliament present here voted. The aye and no nay, and this time no void. But things really is getting tough, and watching the faces of lawmakers, it seems they are going tired. But that's a process, and there's a 3rd ballot now. MPs are now casting. We want to wait and see, as maybe our prediction, which we said is going to be a simple majority. Maybe that's going to happen, and there's a 3rd time of voting.
So, Ibrahim Samuel, after this 3rd time, if the candidate did not pull the 2/3, then another voting is going to be done, and that's during that voting is going to be simple majority, right?
Voting is going to be the decider. Though maybe by estimation, other lawmakers or viewers may think that this 3rd voting they will secure the election of the Speaker. But from our prediction, again, as we want to tell viewers outside that it's going to be very difficult. This is the 3rd voting. After the 3rd voting, maybe we might go for the simple majority.
Okay. I mean, simple majority, that's very interesting. But I'm sure the sole candidate, Dr. Abbas Bundu, is not strange to some of these political battle, as I will put it, because it's a political battle. But I mean, at the end of the day, he is the sole candidate for this race. No other person contested against him.
Yes, indeed, as maybe the ruling SLPP deem it necessary, maybe the good works of the Honorable Abba Bundu did in the 5th Parliament, maybe that warranted also for them to nominate him again. But this time, for me, as I'm still going to be a kind of relaxing job for Mr. Speaker, because for the 5th Parliament, it was an on Parliament, which makes it very difficult for the Speaker to learn or maybe to read out decision, because it's going to be. But this time we are just going to see the two main political parties, the APC and the SLPP.
It's going to be a straight fight.
It's going to be a straight fight. No, but the concern is, I believe maybe after this election and also after the oath taking, we're going to see more dialogue with the opposition. Though they will be electing the Speaker, but also there will be certain instruments and certain agreements and also certain institutional amendments which warranted 2/3 majority. So are we going to see this similar process throughout the 5 years with the abstinence of the main opposition APC? So it's going to be very difficult, and I believe maybe after this they will try to engage the main opposition for them to see the need and also come to Parliament, so the development of this country will be enhanced.
Bem Samura, you did state that Abbas Bundu is going to have an easy ride, but you know, politics is very unpredictable. You don't know how things are going to span out in the next 5 years. So, and as he grows old, and also the challenges of presiding over such a parliament, but I'm sure he has prepared his mind as a man who is used to this kind of weather, this kind of storm.
Asmiru, I want to say it categorically here that if the House remains this way, it's going to be very difficult, and also the debate will be one way. Taking to mark here, Asmiru, you know, 77K of the 1991 Constitution, you know, talks about anti-party activities. So it will be very difficult for the members of Parliament from the ruling to say something different when it comes to debates. So and this is the logic I'm watching. So that's why I said Mr. Speaker will get a free ride, you know, not kind of that pain-taking, you know, when he had the hung Parliament, a lot of it was challenging. He only survived using his maturity, maybe his legal experience, and also his experience working for many local, international organization, regional organization. Maybe use that experience. But for this one, that's why I said it's going to be easy, right? Because in two political parties, SLPP and APC.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim Samura. Well, Ibrahim Samura is the SLBC correspondent in Parliament, someone who has covered Parliament for some time now. You are watching commentaries from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Members of Parliament are casting their vote for the third time, and for the election of the Speaker of Parliament.
Honorable Beatrice Maya Kanbag, Honorable Usman Abdul Charles, Bond District, Honorable Senator Solomon Thomas, Honorable Jibrila Somwejo, Honorable Alice Jebe Kumabe, Honorable Idrissa Moire Dauda, Honorable Bintu Fatma Bokari, Moyamba District, Honorable Edward George, Honorable Veronica.
The members of Parliament are casting their votes for the third time.
Honorable Umupai, Honorable Mustafa Musa Sen, Honorable Alpha Bell.
The members of Parliament are coming forward one by one to cast their votes. And we are still They are coming forward one by one to cast their votes. Let's tweak the brain of a former member of parliament and also a former minister, someone who understands how the politics of this country operates. He is no less a person than Honorable Alhaji Alpha Kanu. Have you ever witnessed this kind of rigorous voting in the House of Parliament for a position like the Speaker of the House?
Yes, I have, but this is not as rigorous as this. The last time I was here, in 2002 to 2007, the election of the Speaker was won first round. So this one really showing how committed the members of Parliament are to the upholding of the Constitution of Sierra Leone, to the adherence of our own national ethos, that we must be democratic. We all know that at the end of the day, the nominated Speaker of Parliament, the Honorable Dr. Abbas Cherno Bundu, will emerge victorious. But because the Constitution and the standing orders have prescribed this process, that we must go through 4 elections, because we haven't the opportunity to get the 2/3 majority over three elections, then we must go through it. And I believe that it is a very big credit to the management of Parliament to make sure that we go through the Constitution as it is, because transparency is what's the watchword.
Give us a scenario. If there were 2 candidates, if there were 2 horses in this race, how do you think it would have gone? Even for just a sole candidate, the MPs have to vote 3 times so far.
Well, it's more arduous for a sole candidate. If there were 2 or 3 candidates, after the first round, if nobody had clear 2/3 majority, 2 of them would go for a runoff. And after that runoff, it is the one who comes with a simple majority that would win. So it would have been 2 elections. But because it's one, and the Constitution prescribes that you must get 2/3 majority, that is why we are going through all this rigorous process. And for me, I commend Parliament. I commend the management of Parliament. I commend the members of Parliament. And I believe that everybody is watching to make sure that Sierra Leone now wants to be a democratic society as best as possible.
This is done in the absence of the main opposition party. They have around a little over 50 members of Parliament. That's a huge number. If they were around, I mean, they would have added some color to the well of Parliament.
Yeah, that's certainly so. But the Constitution does provide for them to be taken into account. That is why we are going through this process. 149 of them. They are assumed to be in here. If you are not here, we assume that if they were here, they would have voted anyway. So you have to go through the total number of members of Parliament, 149. And 2/3 of that is 99. So it's as if they are here. So we could have overlooked that and just say members present and voting. But we can't do that because the Constitution forbids that.
That's the gun of the land.
That is it.
Thank you very much, Honorable Alhaji Alpha Kanu. Thank you very much for talking to SLBC.
Thank you very much.
He is Alhaji Honorable Alpha Kanu. And well, the third voting has ended, and the sorting of the ballot papers is now also going to be done for the third round. And we are going to know very soon what the results are. We are watching live commentaries coming to you from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. The third voting is being done now, and the Speaker of the House election is going on. Sole candidates, Dr. Abbas Bundu. This is the 3rd time they are voting, and once the 3rd voting is done, the ballot papers are going to be sorted and counted.
Yeah, the 2/3. We are having procedural checklists for the 2/3. We are still working on it. After the 2/3 is simple majority, because that is what the procedure is actually talking about.
This is a very rigorous assignment for the election of the leader of this house, someone who is going to be the head of this parliament.
Yeah, pretty much. The Speaker of the House is the chief officer of the House. So you cannot expect the election to be easier or easy to be done. So that's more the reason we have to take our time based on the procedures.
So once this third sorting is done, if the third sort is not achieved, a final voting, we are simple majority determines the winner, right?
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much. Well, the ballots are being sorted out. Let me just try to bring in my other colleague, Joseph Toure. Joseph also has been covering Parliament for some time now, and he also knows the corners of this house. He knows the nuances of this house as well. Joseph Toure, welcome to live commentaries from the Well of Parliament.
Welcome.
Have you ever witnessed this kind of rigorous voting pattern for the Speaker of the House, the number one man in this House of Parliament?
Of course, this is the usual procedure. Of course, it's not news to many people because yesterday the Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament broke the news on AYV that as a party they had resolved to nominate the Honorable Dr. Cherno Abbas Bundu, who was the Speaker for the 5th Legislature of the Second Republic. So at the end of the day, what they are doing now is just to follow procedure because that's what the law says. Because if they don't get 99...
Joseph, let me hold you there, and the results have been announced.
I therefore announce to you that the candidate who has been proposed to take the chair as Speaker of the 6th Parliament has failed to pull the 2/3, and we may now enter the 4th and final round of voting, which is the simple majority round.
Well, viewers, as announced by the Clerk of Parliament, this is the 4th round of voting, and Asmiu, this is going to be the decider whether MPs like it or not, because this time we're going to see the Speaker going to be elected under a simple majority.
Yes, indeed, Ibrahim Samra. We are here again to witness the final voting. The Clerk of Parliament is now reading the results for this third voting, and from the look of things, winner has not, the 2/3 majority has not been achieved, and it means another voting is going to be done, which is going to be the final voting, and once that final voting is done, the members of Parliament are coming forward for the 4th time.
Honorable Woyata Banadet Sunga, Honorable Musalem Lahai, Honorable Mohammed Kane, Honorable Margaret Simata Johnson, Honorable Falah Delawa Atende, Honorable Hawa Rosalind Siafa, Honorable Emilia Lolo Tumi, Honorable Quintin Salia Kolo, Kenema District, Honorable Makusa Yuma, Honorable Musa Peter Moy, Honorable Rubiatu Tayawali Musa, Honorable Francis Amara Kaisam, Honorable Bostinda, Honorable Alice Konya Sami, Honorable Ali Bayon, Honorable Brahma Mansari, Honorable Mayama Ella Huba, Honorable Ibrahim.
Well, Famulem, in relation to the Saloon Broadcasting Corporation, we can live from the Well of Parliament, and watching on the CISO now. Now, the voting for the speakership where the leader of the House, the Honorable Machinyuma, be appointed when the former Speaker of the 5th Parliament, Honorable Abbas Bundu. So now then the votes for a speakership. But according to the law is that
then forget 2/3 majority. And the House, you get about 149 MPs, including 12 Paramount Chiefs, 135 MPs. But we all know that the opposition, main opposition, the All People's Congress, now only one person show up when Honorable Mohamed Bangura. We, of course, they can honor the duty according to the law, what in the Constitution say, and even what in the standing order to talk about, that it come for make sure say they swear I'm in. But then the election, they see so now, they don't vote first round, then get 94, then get abstinence of 2, because of 96 MPs, including the Paramount Chief, then they are now. And then vote the second term, then get 96, then vote the third term, then get 94, and 2 abstinence, 2 say no. Now these are the last one. These are the majority carries the vote now. If, according to the votes, they even get 60, 36, then they will declare the speaker the winner. So now they will do so now the 4th rounds of the voting, and then go count, then we almost people that vote in favor, and the one that would say no. But I get Melvin Naya with me. Now Melvin, what you see obviously now, we see say then they do a voting for speakership, considering the amount of the MPs that were there, and considering the situation on the ground. What can you take?
Well, firstly, it should say the process will unfold. That is one. Irrespective of the opposition in absence, many people say will obstruct the business of Parliament, but the business of Parliament is still moving on. In as much as there is no 3/3, but yet still we are moving towards a 2/3, a simple majority, and that is the process. So firstly, the clerk has upheld the process and procedure that yes, SLP not get the 2/3, but nonetheless they follow the process, and now they are moving to a simple majority where they will ever forget.
Now, okay, this is for the speakership. Now they're going to come for the deputy speakership as well. Now the same scenario we see?
Absolutely so. For the fact that there is no change in the speaker, I don't expect a change in the deputy speaker. It seems as if the SLP is moving towards a same thing kind of scenario, but wait for see. But definitely now the same process therefore we obtain, where there is no 2/3, there is going to be for the 4th time a simple majority. So yes, APC did not come, it mean a lot, but it not still stop the business of the House for continue.
What do you mean now? Because a lot of talk they go around, say in the absence of the opposition, the work of Parliament obviously it not go be, it not go be smooth. You don't need a Parliament. Of course, we know the new dispensation, that is the PR system. We bring them coming. You think, say, if they not come, what would be the ripple effect?
Firstly, it will affect them package in terms of their benefits, but also it will mean say SLPP not go in simple time able for amend even the constitution because they will need a 2/3 and they not get time. So that is the scariest part of it all.
Well, so in other words, well, in a situation like this, what's in the law say that when, especially thing where they deal with statute instruments, we need 2/3. So if they not get time, what do you think will happen?
There is no option. Unlike this one way, if the option are simple majority, you don't get time for alter, amend, entrench clauses or make them kind of, so they not get time. There is no shortcut. So this one now we are using now and we're seeing it's a shortcut where you don't have a 2/3. But if you want to amend the constitution as promised in the manifesto of SLPP, you cannot in the absence of the APC.
So, well, that's get for occur. That's get for happen. So, maybe we want to see very important thing when they go on for pass. We really go touch on the running of this country. That when you not be, what I go suffer the board.
Everybody will suffer. APC will suffer, SLPP will suffer, Salon will suffer, the president in repetition will suffer. So nobody not to win in this one. We all will suffer because we're two elephants and the feds. In this case, APC, SLPP. Now the ordinary people then they suffer. Imagine today, the absence, just look at the camera for the other side, they are not here. It means the voices of the people are not being represented here. And there is a dangerous aspect because the constitution says 28 days. And if 28 days pass, they're not kaya. Then it's a matter now for the Supreme Court to decide because ECS not get the power for change, Parliament not get the power for change, and it's only the court. So we are heading for uncharted waters.
Okay, but now somebody they say Mohamed Bangura don't betray a political party. Of course, it's coming from them that in case now Mohamed Bangura do this kind of thing, then the party decides to for expel him. The Parliament is going for protector.
I think so because we see how with the likes of Honorable Bernard Lahai and Honorable there is this former APC MP, PMDC MP. So this is the catch. But that man not going to come for can't respect government business when I SLPP the control. Now at the end of the APC can write Sele and Pula. They get for votes now and at the speaker in discretion. So I do think the APC is going to win that. Even if they're going to the courts, I wonder if they will win the fight. Mohamed Bangura has embarrassed them. They like it or not. But again, the huge embarrassment is also APC then pull up power for say they're not the calm. And the people that will vote give them that power day.
Yes. So now they're not taking that kind of decision day. Now what do you think to say, okay, in the atmosphere for Loget, the kind of peace we will need, what do you think so far?
I'm so disappointed in the negotiation, especially between President Bio and Dr. Anes Kuruma. We don't know who that form, but we know say there were negotiations even up to late hours yesterday, and somebody not pick in company in call. I don't want for going to that. I'm not a politician, but I think if the president want for say low get peace, somebody for be willing for make peace. So this goes to the point that APC they might get them genuine concerns, but then for not to all you want you will get at the same time. And if somebody open the mouth to make peace, we have to make peace. Witness on this today will be written in the records and the annals of history, whether it's right or wrong. I am not standing here to judge them, but posterity will judge them.
Yes, but for the benefit of the country, all get the kind of peace, I think to say, if room there for negotiation, then I think they will accept that.
And Anes Kuruma must be willing to negotiate as well as Madabio. I mean, you cannot have two captains running one boat. Madabio is the president. And if he calls somebody need to listen to her. You know, I think that's the best you can go. All my one man will add to bone. If you call us in Oka, and you know the president, what's going to happen? And that's what we are reliably informed that the president made attempts to reach out, but nobody was speaking. I mean, I just can talk to Mohamed Bangura shortly, but that's what we are reliably hearing. So we blame Madabio small because I am the president, but if Madabio as the president, he pull in pride by himself and call somebody not can negotiate, then who's to be blamed? I think we should blame equally the APC also for not putting national interest above all else.
Thank you very much, Melo.
It's always a pleasure.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, okay, this is Melvin, of course, been the talk to we. Now, then they do accounting of the nay and, of course, the eyes. We go know just now how the vote counts go. Because by how we see, we don't see that they put on the left and they put on the right. And the speaker, the clerk, we're going to make the announcement very, very soon. And we're going to know if there's a simple majority. In this case, even if you get one vote ahead, yes, sir, one vote ahead, then obviously the speaker, when they nominate, could take the seats as the Speaker of the House. And then we come to the Deputy Speaker. Well, when I'm going to do the counting, the clerk go announce, and then we go see query from the clerk the results of the voting. All right, we still await as the clerk will make the announcement very, very soon that we will see that the ayes, waiting the ayes then get, and then we will look at the nays. All right, I think to say this could be the last result announced by the clerk of the House, the Honorable Paramount Chiefs. I go announce the ayes, the nays, and the abstinence.
Honorable members, this brings us to the end of the speakership election. And before I read the results of the fourth round of election, I want to refer you to SO 87, the proviso, which states, provided that if 3 successive resolutions proposing the election of a speaker fail to receive the votes of 2/3 of all the members of Parliament, the Speaker shall be elected by a resolution passed by a simple majority of all members of Parliament. And by the current configuration, simple majority of all members of Parliament is 75 votes. Bearing that in mind, I hereby, as the legislative returning officer, announce the results of this year's 6 speakership elections as follows. 95 persons voted. The ayes received 92 votes. And the nays 3 votes. By the powers vested in me, I hereby declare the Honorable Dr. Abbas Chernobyl as Speaker-elect of the 6th Parliament of the Second Republic of Sierra Leone. And I now propose that the Honorable Dr. Abbas Chernobyl do take the seat as Speaker of the 6th Parliament. I now have the honor to invite the Honorable Abbas Chernobyl to subscribe the oath of office as Speaker of the 6th Parliament of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Honorable Dr. Abbas Chernobyl, can you please step forward for the oath of office?
The Clerk of Parliament has announced the results for the elections. Voting went on for a 4th time. It was after that 4th time that the winner was declared. And Abbas Chernobyl, Doctor, has been duly elected as the Speaker of the House of Parliament. And he is going to preside over this Parliament again for the lifespan of this House, because he is now been duly elected. Everyone is now waiting for him to walk into the well and then take the oath of office, and then his work commences. Once he assumes the seats, once he takes the oath and goes to his seat, the Speaker for the election for the Deputy Speaker is also going to be held. We are now waiting for the Speaker-elect, Abbas Cherno Bundu, who has been duly elected as the Speaker of the House of Parliament. At any time from now, Abbas Cherno Bundu, Honorable, would enter into the well of Parliament to ascribe to the oath of office as Speaker of the House of Parliament. So finally, the final voting has been done. Honorable Dr. Cherno Abbas Bundu is now entering the well of Parliament as the Speaker of the 6th Parliament. He is no stranger to this house. He has been in this house. He has been in this house. A mistake was about to be made. But thank God the Clerk of Parliament came to the rescue of the Speaker and prevented that mistake. Honorable Abbas Bundu smiling, walking into the well to take the oath of office that is going to be administered to him by the Clerk of Parliament.
Dr. Abbas Cherno Bundu, are you a Muslim or a Christian?
I'm a Muslim.
Can you please receive the Quran? You are now going to subscribe the oath of office as Speaker of the 6th Parliament of the Second Republic of Sierra Leone. When I say I, you say I, and then you call your name and continue with the other wordings. I,
Dr. Abbas Cherno Bundu,
do hereby, in the name of God swear,
in the name of Allah swear,
that I will bear true faith, and allegiance,
to
the Republic of Sierra Leone, as by law established, that I will faithfully, and conscientiously discharge my duties as Speaker of Parliament. And that I will do right. To all manner of people. In accordance with the Constitution of Sierra Leone. And uphold the laws. And customs of Parliament. Without fear or favor. Affection or ill will. So help me God.
So help me Allah.
May peace.
Congratulations. Mr. Speaker. Congratulations.
Thank you. Honorable Dr. Abbas Cherno Bundu has just taken the oath of office, making him legalizing his status as the Speaker of the House. So henceforth, he is the Speaker of the House of Parliament.
Honorable members, we now wish to robe the new Speaker.
The new Speaker is now going to be robed. He is going to be robed. This is exactly how it was done 5 years ago in 2018.
They were hard today. No more after the this week, we give full chance today. In fact, we don't see now every Tuesday they wear.
Honorable Cherno Abbas Bundu is being robed. He has worn the gown, and he hardly put on suits. He is smiling. I can see the leader of the house. The wig is also been worn on him. And one more thing, the mace. The sergeant at arms has now been called to present the mace to the Speaker of the House of Parliament as a symbol of authority. The Speaker is now being ushered onto his seat. Parliament has risen in honor of the Speaker to give him this honor. As you can see, he is being robed. He is now being robed, and he is smiling. He is not a strange man to this kind of affair. Abbas Bundu, he has worn his gown.
Item 6. Election of the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Section 80 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone, Act number 6 of 1991, as amended by the Constitution of Sierra Leone Amendment Act 2013 and Standing Order 9.
Point of order, Mr. Clark. Mr. Speaker, while you are away and awaiting your elections, the new Speaker in the sub-Saharan Africa and Africa, I entered the chamber before the Speaker who are nominated. So clap for me, honorable members. We are not saying we want to delay the nomination or the election of the Deputy Speaker. Mr. Clark, we are unable to obstruct you because we wanted the procedure to go ahead. If you read SO 8 subsection 4, we are supposed to give some speech, give our appreciation or dislike or what have you, what we want to say about this, the proposed speaker before coming. So before we want to elect Mr. Deputy Speaker, let me tell you this time, I'm going to tell you because I'm going to make a motion to postpone the election of Deputy Speaker today. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Clark. As I said, I still appreciate you, and as I said entirely, I will always refer you to Section 84, subsection 2 of the 1912 Constitution Act number 6. I have tremendous respect for you, Mr. Speaker, once you are not around. That what you have said, what you have just spoken to me in camera, I hear too, and I believe, and that will be a comfortable time because of the time, so that we can be able to talk much about the third situation. So for now, I will avoid the SOE subsection 4 of the Thank you very much. I take my seat. Let me tell you, Mr. Speaker, I will tell you, if you want to call me JP, you have to take permission from the Speaker. You see, you don't just to call me JP like that. You call me JP with some amount of respect. Honorable Mohamed Bangura, you have to make sure that when you are going to call me JP, you ask the legal Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Now, honorable members, I will now call on the clerk to proceed with the election of the Deputy Speaker of Parliament.
Honorable Speaker, sir, honorable members, leave of the Speaker I'll now proceed with the elections of the Deputy Speaker. And
Mr. Clark, sorry to obstruct you. We want to engage the Speaker for a moment. I want to engage. Just give us a minute, please.
You are watching live commentaries from Parliament. The Speaker of the House has taken his seat, and at any time from now, the discussions are going to the voting for his Deputy Speaker is going to be done. And for now, we don't know who the Deputy Speaker is going to be, but we know that the Deputy Speaker election is soon going to be held. Let me bring in again Honorable Alhaji Alpha Kanu, a veteran member of Parliament of this House. History has been made again. Dr. Cherno Abbas Bono has just been re-elected. He's coming for the second time as Speaker of this House. And I'm sure so many things are playing on his mind for now.
Well, I think he's really elated to come back. He has been very, very effective in the last Parliament, the 5th Parliament. It was a hung Parliament, but he managed it as if with a lot of dexterity. So with this kind of Parliament now, I think the job will be a lot easier for him, and we can't have any safer hands to handle this Parliament at this time. I think Dr. Cherno Abbas Bundu is the right choice at the moment.
So are we going to have a much more decorous Parliament than we had in 2018 to 2023?
Well, I wouldn't say the last one was not decorous. It was a Parliament. That is why you talk. That is why you make noise. That is why you throw books at each other. But when you go outside, you are the same people, one country, one people. I believe Parliament will always be Parliament. And I think this one is going to be very interesting. The fact that the ruling party has 81 members of Parliament and the opposition has 54. And I know those 54 will take their place after today.
Thank you very much, Alhaji Alpha Kanu, Honorable Alhaji Alpha Kanu. And the election for the Deputy Speaker will start at any time from now.
Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I, Honorable Bashiru Siliki, a former member of Parliament representing Constituency 82 and the Paramount Chiefdom, now a member of Parliament representing both districts and the southern region of the Republic of Sierra Leone, rise to nominate one of my kind. Mr. Speaker, I took oath in this Parliament in 2012, and the person I am about to nominate was one of us when we took oath in 2012. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the candidate I'm about to nominate has darkened the wells of this Parliament for the 10th year, and this is the 11th year starting. Mr. Speaker, I'm about to nominate an outstanding lawyer, one of the best in the legal profession of Sierra Leone. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I'm here to nominate a person who has gone unopposed in his constituency and district for the 3rd time to darken the wells of this Parliament. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I am here to nominate the former leader of this Parliament to the Pan-African Parliament. As a deputy leader to him whilst in Pan-African Parliament, Mr. Speaker, I can say here without any doubt, any iota of doubt, that is one of the best members of Parliament in the Pan-African Parliament. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the candidate I'm about to nominate, whenever in the Pan-African Parliament he stands to speak, we can you can sense the respect from other members of parliament in the African region. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the person I am about to nominate has served the 5th Parliament as the Deputy Speaker. And for all members of Parliament who serve in the 5th Parliament can ascertain that this candidate is one of the best Deputy Speakers that have served this House. Mr. Speaker, at difficult moments, it is the only candidate you can call SO2 Kada. Meaning, he does his duty as swift in the expectation of members of Parliament. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, on behalf of the people of Paramount Chiefdom and the Bo districts, on behalf of the people of Bo districts, on behalf of the people of the Southern region, and on behalf of the people of Sierra Leone, and on behalf of members of Parliament in the 6th Parliament, I, Honorable Bashiru Seleki, nominate the Right Honorable Segepo.
Honorable members, Honorable Segepo Solomon Thomas has been nominated to take the chair of the House as Deputy Speaker of the 6th Parliament. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, all the adjectives I will have used have been used by the deputy leader in describing
Who is the deputy leader, please? There is no deputy leader in this parliament.
Former deputy leader. I've used all the adjectives I should have used. But let me hasten to say, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, that there will be no better deputy speaker that will elect today than Honorable Segepo. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I was in this parliament in 2012 with Honorable Deputy Speaker to be elected soon. And from the day we entered this well, I saw him as Speaker, Deputy Speaker of this Parliament. And today, we are coming to second the nomination of Honorable Segepo Thomas to be the Deputy Speaker of this House. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. The question is that Honorable Segepo Solomon Thomas do take the chair of this House as Deputy Speaker of the 6th Parliament. The roll call will start and the voting will start. Do we have any other nomination? We are proceeding. Okay, so we are moving. And this is a simple majority vote. And it is it is simple majority of members present and voting. The standing orders are clear. The constitution is clear. It is simple majority of members present and voting. So you listen to the roll call as you come forward to vote.
The election of the Deputy Speaker. Kailaun District. Honorable Sati Banya. Honorable Indolo Moiwo Gevao. Honorable Woyata Bernadette Songa, sorry. Honorable Musa Lahan. Honorable Mohammed Kane. Honorable Margaret Femata Johnson.
The election of the Deputy Speaker has commenced. Honorable Paul Sengepo Thomas is the sole candidate also for the election of Deputy Speaker. Mind you, he is also an incumbent Deputy Speaker of the House of Parliament. He came to this House as a Member of Parliament in 2012. In 2018, he was elected as Deputy Speaker of the House, and this is his second inning. Joseph, the Speaker and the would-be Deputy Speaker, they are all incumbent holders of their positions, and Sengepo is doing his third term now as Deputy Speaker of the House. So I don't think he is that in tenterhooks to know his position. He already knows that he is going to be the next Deputy Speaker of the House.
Yes, as I said earlier, this is no news. As the Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament had said, as a party they had resolved to this outcome that we are seeing now in the well of Parliament. You know, but as a person, the Honorable Segepo Solomon Thomas is somebody that is very, very regular in Parliament, and he also respects what we call time. He's very punctual, and most time when it comes to Parliament, if he sees that there is no quorum for about 30 minutes, he adjourns to the other days. So it's somebody that is very strict when it comes to the procedures of the standing orders and the Constitution. And it's somebody who also knows the in and out of the House, and how to, although at times when he presides over certain bills, you know, there are controversial bills.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question. And many say he presided over many of the controversial issues that the last Parliament debated, and he was the Speaker at that on those particular moments when some of those critical issues were debated and discussed.
Yes, like for example, proportional representation, you know, and other crucial bill like cybercrime bill. He presided over them, and you know, it was very, very controversial. But at times you see they will try to strike the balance to ensure that members of the opposition, although as we speak now, we only have one member of Parliament from the opposition, that's the Honorable Mohamed Bangura, who has followed through the process since this morning. And of course, what we expect, we want to see a better Parliament, the 6th Parliament, because one of the things that they could not achieve in the 5th Parliament was lack of oversight. So this time around, we want to see that the leadership ensures that oversight is being followed strictly sensible.
But the issue of oversight has always been a challenge, not only for this just concluded Parliament, even their predecessors. Citizens had said that parliamentary supervision oversight was not as effective as people expected. Parliament has the powers to provide legal oversight, but sometimes people say they do not use the powers that the law gives them.
Yes, as you said, it's one of their primary functions to hold the executive accountable. But one of the reasons they stated when I engaged some of the MPs in the 5th Parliament that the resources, the financial resources, you know, at times to go on oversight, you need money. So they complained that that was one of the challenges they faced as a Parliament, to ensure that they look over, to ensure that they monitor the executive arm of government, financial constraints. So this time around, we don't want to hear those excuses, because that's their primary role, to ensure that the executive is accountable to the people of Sierra Leone, because Parliament accounts to itself, but the people of Sierra Leone, they are responsible to account to the people of Sierra Leone. So if they fail to hold the executive accountable, then we see not much for our democracy, but we expect much
Joseph,
from
the Speaker of the House and his deputy, they are coming from two different generations and two different they belong to the same profession. Both of them are legal minds, Dr. Abbas Bondo and Sengepo. How would you describe the kind of relationship they had during their first term as Speaker and Deputy Speaker?
Yeah, it's a mutual one, I would say. At times you hear the deputy speaker would say, Mr. Speaker, remember, I am your eyes on the ground, I am your nose on the ground, I know what is going on, so I will advise we go this path. I've spoken to some of the members of parliament at the end of the day, so if we go this way, I think we can achieve. So most of the times you see that the Honorable Dr. Abbas Bundu, we adhere to him. That shows that he's a listening speaker, and they have a mutual relationship in terms of executing their duties.
Now, what about the old hands, the old faces? For example, if you look at the opposition benches in the previous parliament, they had people like Honorable Ibrahim Benkagbo, even the leader of the opposition, Honorable Chernoba, Honorable Manley Spain. These were all seasoned lawmakers. Honorable Chernoba, for example, spent 3 terms in parliament. Manley Spain also spent a long time. So, but they are going to be out of this parliament this time round. And are they going to be missed?
Of course, yeah, they will be missed because each of them has a unique character. For example, the Honorable Cherno Majuba is a leader that could provide leadership for his members of parliament. He could control them. He could lobby them. They listen to him. And when it comes to, in terms of advice, like legal provisions, we have the Honorable Manley Spain. They were there. Those brains provided no legal advice to the young MPs by then in the 5th legislature. So at the end of the day, during controversial bills, we saw that at the end of the day they could achieve as a house because of these legal minds. And when it comes to the Honorable I.B. Kabo, between him and the Honorable Dr. Abbas Chernobu, yeah, it was very nice house. Yeah, when they use when they use the Queen's language, you know that the education they got back then was totally different from what we have now. You know, the younger generation. So at the end of the day, those minds provided a unique leadership in the 5th Parliament. So they will be missed by many young MPs who would be needing their coaching, skills to get them understanding the rules and procedures of the House.
On the other hand, on the ruling benches, we still see the faces like, for example, the leader of government business, Honorable Newman, Honorable Dixon Rogers, he is also still, and the Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament, Honorable Sidi Tunis, and Honorable Bashiru and others. These are all old guards, one would say, in the last Parliament. So the ruling party is not short of those who provide the necessary leadership and guidance for their new members of Parliament, the new kids in the block.
Yes, for now we can't say because they are there, but appointments have not been made yet to know who is going to be the leader of government business. That has not been disclosed so far. So what we've seen so far, we've got a speaker, and the election for the deputy speaker is ongoing now. So we don't know the leadership, if the leadership for the ruling SLPP will continue the same, continue with the same members of parliament, or we have to have a change. We are going to see new MPs taking chairship roles. Like we have a lot of committees at the end of the day, so we are expecting to see like those who have been here for 3 terms, for 2 terms, to take over these leadership roles. Let's wait and see what will happen in the 6th Parliament in terms of leadership for the ruling.
As the voting for the deputy speaker is going on, how powerful is the deputy speaker in the House of Parliament? How powerful is such a position? When you are deputy, you only act when your boss is not around.
No, as I said earlier, it's very powerful because although the substantive speaker is most times punctual and regular in terms of his duty, but at times when you don't have the speaker around, the deputy steps in and he performs very well. He's a very powerful man. He also commands respect among his colleagues. So he's somebody that at the end of the day has some cordial relationships with some members of the opposition, although we are yet to see the APC because they had said that they will not partake in any form of governance in this particular for the next 5 years.
I believe it was going to be a battle between Honorable Gevao and Honorable Sengepo. But I remember Honorable Gevao did tell me that he stepped down because, according to him, if nothing is broken, nothing should be fixed. So he is going to concede and allow his brother to go ahead as the deputy speaker.
That could tell you that the SLPP as a party, they might have that resolution among themselves that we are going to do this at A and B. That's why I said earlier today when you asked me the question, I said this was to what follow procedure, because it was disclosed yesterday that this set of people, we are going to take those positions. So at the end of the day, yes, Honorable Bivao is a seasoned lawmaker. Most of the time when he debates, he likes to point out, what you call procedure, to go to the law. Because as a lawyer, he wants the laws to be followed, hook, line, and sinker. So most of the time when he debates, it does not follow. Most times, at times there are certain cases where you see he will follow this party line, but entirety he looks at the law as a lawyer.
Thank you very much. That's a wonderful experience from my colleague Joseph Toure, who is our parliamentary correspondent in the last parliament. He covered this parliament. He saw nearly all the issues that we have debated, that we have passed, and he has a wealth of experience. But let me remind you that the voting for the deputy speaker of the House is now going on. Members of parliament are coming one by one to cast their vote. Now is the Paramount Chief MPs who are also casting their votes for the deputy speaker. Mind you, there is a sole candidate also for this position, and that candidate is the former deputy speaker of the same house, Honorable Sengepo Thomas. The sorting of the votes is now going to be done. Well, the sorting of the ballots is now going on, and they are sorting and trying to count to know exactly what the votes are going to be for the Deputy Speaker of the House of Parliament. I can say the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Sengepo Thomas, waiting to know what the outcome is going to be. I think the results have been sorted out, and anytime from now the results are going to be announced by the Clerk of Parliament, Honorable Param Trawali. Progress has been made so far. Members of Parliament have been sworn in, Speaker elected, and Deputy Speaker about to be elected.
The assignment you gave me has been accomplished, and I now want to report back to you. For the elections of the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, we are expecting 96 voters, but one abstained. So 95 people voted, and here is the results. The ayes, that the Honorable Sengepo Solomon Thomas do take the seat as Deputy Speaker of the 6th Parliament. The ayes, 95 votes. The nays, 0.
Honorable members, you've all heard the results of the election of the Deputy Speaker as pronounced by the Clerk of Parliament. By virtue of the powers vested in me as Speaker of the 6th Parliament of the Republic, the Second Republic, I hereby declare the Honorable Singapore Thomas as duly elected Deputy Speaker. On behalf of the entire membership of the House, I would like to extend our warmest congratulations to the Deputy Speaker. We'll all have an opportunity to do so again at our next sitting in greater detail. For now, unless there is an announcement, is there one?
Well, Fumblem, of course, the number with the Deputy Speaker gets the 95 out of 96, one abstain, and the Honorable Singapore, the Deputy Speaker elect, for the 6th Parliament. It gets a rousing welcome.
If you go back to the Constitution section 94, we may regulate our own business. Just for the edification, not for us, members of Parliament, for the gallery and those who are here with us. For example, we have one member of Parliament, Honorable Alpha Khan is with us. He knows that he is expecting us to give some felicitations to the Speaker and Deputy Speaker. I'm just asking you with already, Mr. Speaker. We have discussed it, but we just make preference so you can suspend that one to the letter so we can understand. And we are not trying to abrogate any provision in the standing orders of the Constitution, just for the edification of the public. And we can move to another item. Thank you.
The point is well taken. I observe, of course, that item 8 would have been an accepted speech by me, at least today, and felicitations would have come at the next adjourned date. But after consultations, we've agreed to suspend that particular item and take it up at the next adjourned date. In the meantime, and before the announcement, I would now like to announce the leadership of the House. I think it's an appropriate moment for us to do that, unless I hear any objection to the contrary.
So it is, Mr. Speaker, it's just one I want to know if there is any provision where you get to take those opportunities.
No.
Thank you.
Without the provision, rest assured it would have been adhered to. So I'll proceed with the announcement of the leadership, the rest of the leadership of the House. The House already knows, honorable members, who the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker are. So I don't need to repeat their names. The majority leader and leader of government business will be the Honorable Matthew Sir. Deputy Leader 1, the Honorable Bashiru Siddiqui. Deputy Leader 2, the Honorable Sir Emerson Lamina. Chief Whip, the Honorable Dixon Rogers. Deputy Chief Whip 1, the Honorable Veronica Kadisise. And last but by no means least, Deputy Whip 2, the Honorable Ibrahim Tawak. I'll now ask honorable members, the usual question, all in favor of the proposal just read out by my good self, say aye. And those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
Announcement. Members of Parliament are kindly requested to return completed.
All right, now few announcements by the Speaker of Parliament. We, of course, now the procedure that the Speaker of Parliament just announced the structure, in the House of Parliament. As today the name, Martin Newman, the leader of government business, leader of the House, and the deputy leader, another honorable, of course, Honorable Siddiqui. And then, of course, you get the Chief Whip, Honorable Dixon Rogers, the Deputy Chief Whip, Honorable Veronica Kadisise, Deputy Chief Whip 1, Honorable 2, Honorable Emerson Lamina, and Deputy Chief Whip 2, Honorable Tawa Conte. Well, I think with that, they can round up the House of Parliament, they can close, and we're done there since this afternoon. Well, for now, we go, we hand over the microphone to my colleague, Asmi Uba.
Tuesday, 18th of July at 10 a.m. prompt.
All right, the House adjourned to Tuesday, July 18th, 10 a.m. All right, Asmi, now, you don't understand. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Daniel Mosire, for the commentary in Creole. Well, we are still in the well of Parliament, waiting for the Speaker to leave the House. Once he does, once he leaves the House, then the work for today ends. We are still expecting to get the views of a former member of Parliament to talk to us about these events today. The Parliament has just ended, and the leadership has been formed. The Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Leader of Government Business, and the Deputy Leader. And we've seen some new arrangement. For example, the former leader of C4C is now part of the leadership of Parliament, Deputy Leader 2 of the Sierra Leone People's Party. It's been very colorful here. Joseph, interestingly, we've seen the former leader of C4C now being part of the leadership of the Sierra Leone People's Party.
Yes, it's really interesting because we did not witness that in the 5th legislature, that they only had one deputy leader. Now we had deputy leader 2. And this we are speculations that we are all over the place. But when you talk to some journalists who have been around there for some time, they will tell you that we are expecting the Honorable Sir Emerson Lamina to be at the leadership level even also, but for me, the Honorable Tawa, it was a surprise because
Joseph, I need to hold you there. Let me get in Honorable Alhaji Alpha Kanu. He's been with us since this morning. You've been with us since this morning, sharing your experience as a veteran member of Parliament, someone who knows the corners of this place, who knows the nuances. We've seen some new arrangements when it comes to the leadership. For example, we see Honorable Emerson Lamina, who used to be the leader of C4C, is now part of the leadership on the SLPP side. He is now one of the deputy leaders of government business in the House of Parliament. That's a new arrangement.
Yes, it is a new arrangement. It is in line with His Excellency's declaration that this government is going to be an inclusive government at all levels, the judiciary, the Parliament, and even in the executive. So bringing in Honorable Emerson Lamina is already a good sign that this government is going to be abiding by the declarations of His Excellency the President. I am very happy that it happened that way. I also saw that even the Western area got a deputy whip, Honorable Tawa Conte. So for me, you're spreading the cake all over the country, north, east, west, and south, they are all represented. For me, I believe this is a very good arrangement, and I am happy it came. So
it started well and it's ended well.
Yes, like Julius Caesar would say, when he